Okay, good evening. Tonight we are joined by Charlotte Young. She's joining us from Birmingham, and you may have seen she's obviously been on our Instagram today. So we are now just a few hours away from your first release of 2021 with On the Loose. How are the excitement levels going?
Oh, as always, I feel a bit sick, a bit nervous, but hopefully it'll go well. I mean, it's had great support so far, and big thanks to everyone who's pre-ordered so far. So we'll see how it goes.
So with the country obviously back in lockdown for what feels like the 300th time, how have you managed to kind of stay creative at this time and make sure you're getting this music out there?
So it's really weird. I sort of feel that someone's clearly been looking after me somehow, because everything I've released has in fact been in lockdown. Everything. And when lockdown had a bit of a holiday, I got to go and re-record. So I got to record some more stuff, and just so happened that another lockdown happened, and that's why I'm releasing yet again in lockdown. But it's been quite good in the sense that I've managed to get something out there, you know? So yeah, not been too bad.
So this single though features a duet. Obviously, what kind of difficulties are there recording a duet in a lockdown?
So it probably helps that Georgia Nevada is just an absolute pro in so many ways. And if she's listening, she's probably going to disagree with that, but she is. I recorded this anyway, so everything was already done for it. It was ready to go. And then we had the idea of having it as a duet. So I messaged her thinking, you know, could you cut some vocals on it, and then we'll get it mixed and remastered. And she got it done so quick, and I'm so lucky that I chose her, because like she was just so great about it, and it was a really stress-free process. So I think in general it's probably difficult, but it was really great for me.
So what made you think of inviting Georgia to be on the track?
I love what she does, and I feel like we came out at a similar time. So it was cool to have like someone with the same sort of audience as myself. And she's just generally a bit of a badass. So I thought it was pretty cool. And originally the idea was, do we get a male singer as part of it? But that sort of changes the narrative of the song. So it'd be cool to have like a Thelma and Louise type vibe. And I just thought Georgia fit the bill, because her voice is different enough to mine for it to be a significant duet, but also add a different layer to it. And I think she was just great for it. So yeah.
So it's quite a unique idea for a song, a complete spin on the breakup idea. Where did the idea or the base of the idea come from for the song?
I love that question, because every time people ask me about my inspirations, I think they expect me to say something really deep, and that's never the case. Like, I'm just not a very deep person. But basically, I was in a car with my boyfriend, and we were driving down the road, and we saw an ambulance, and I was like, oh, the blue lights are chasing us, like we're on the run type thing. We weren't on the run. We didn't do anything criminal, if anyone's listening. But I thought, wouldn't that be a cool idea? The blue lights are chasing me all over town. And it stuck with me. I forgot about it for about a week. And then I sat down in my living room, again, pre-lockdown, with my guitar player and my boyfriend and my drummer, Scott. And we wrote it. We just sat down. We rolled ideas back and forth of someone's on the run because they've broken hearts. Because breaking hearts isn't a crime. You can't be arrested for it. But I'm sure people who are heartbroken would disagree with that, and you definitely should be. So that was the idea, really.
Okay, so you're going to play us a song now.
Yes.
So this is On the Loose, and I say this is out tomorrow.
Tomorrow, absolutely. So yeah, this is On the Loose, and I hope you guys like it. Here we go. Crying eyes and lonely nights, finding peace in the neon lights. Broken heart is all that is on his mind. Cut his hair and he changed his shirt. No matter what he does, it still hurts. Try so hard, but he can't get over her. Well, I would feel bad best that he ever had. Blue lights are chasing me all over town. Nobody safe till I'm found. Start spreading the news. I'm a heartbreaker on the loose. Lock themselves and say your prayers. They're gonna love me, honey, I don't care. Leave them on, but they don't know the truth. I'm a heartbreaker on the loose. Tailgating me out of Tennessee, got my sights set on misery. Don't you know that I'm hellbound? I'm gonna kick your love to the ground. Am I breaking the law or breaking your heart? Don't judge a jury, can tell it apart. You say that I'm guilty. I didn't ask you to fall for me. Blue lights are chasing me all over town. Nobody safe till I'm found. Start spreading the news. I'm a heartbreaker on the loose. Lock the suns and say your prayers. They're gonna love me, honey, I don't care. Lead them on, but they don't know the truth. I'm a heartbreaker on the loose. Chasing me all over town. Nobody's safe till I'm found. Start spreading the news. I'm a heartbreaker on the loose. Lock up the suns and say your prayers. They're gonna love me, honey, I don't care. Need them all, they don't know the truth. I'm a heartbreaker on the loose. All right, that was On the Loose.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So, as a bit of a pro when it comes to live streaming, you said everything you've released has been in lockdown. Let's go through your setup, because I can just see in the chat that's kind of what they're more interested in. We've got new mic. So, yeah, what's your setup then at the minute?
So up until the day before, this is going to make me sound like such a professional. It was literally just my phone and or my laptop. But I looked into it a bit more, and I really want to learn how to produce, or just indeed like improve the quality of what I do, right? We don't know how long I'm going to have to be doing these live streams for, so I may as well invest. So I got myself a lovely fancy little Rode NT1A. This is not sponsored, but if they want to, you know, won't say no to that. A Focusrite Scarlett 212, and that's it. And a Yamaha LSTA. I've had this baby for about 3-4 years now. But I have a few other guitars, and I'm also going to be investing in a slightly better webcam, because at the minute I'm just on my laptop and it's a little grainy. So I will be improving in that. But that's what we've got so far.
But yeah, it really is just kind of, it's never ending at the minute, isn't it? These with the live streams and potential for gigging.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
You've kind of come onto the scene at a kind of time where country radio is becoming quite a thing over here. And, you know, you've had some really good support from the radio, including kind of BBC coverage, as well as the main country station. So how's that kind of been in these early stages?
I mean, it's absolutely wild to me that at any given day, music that's made by myself could be featured on any radio of any form, you know, whether that's an independent station, because those were the guys that really got me started. So people like Roger Peck and Steve Taggart and stuff like that, you know, couldn't do it without them. And then you've got people like Jess T and people like Matt Spracklin and Balin Leonard and the BBC. It's just insane to me that that's the case. And I'm just really grateful, because I approached some of these stations thinking, nah, they're not going to play me. Come on. And then before I know it, there I am on the radio station. And my mind just goes like this.
So we're now 11 months on from the release of Whiplash. So what was it like then hearing that for the first time on the radio and things?
I cried is the short answer. I like people who are tuned in probably aware that I'm a little bit of an emotional human being, because I get overwhelmed, and I suppose that my reaction to being overwhelmed is to cry. I think it's because like you think of these things when you're little, when you're dreaming, you're like, oh, this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want to do. You don't actually think that's going to happen. And yeah, to some people, a radio station may be small potatoes, but it's big for me. And like it just means so much that when it happens, I still don't believe it. We're a year on now, and I'm still like, what? Okay, great.
Right, I'm going to embarrass you now.
Scott's no.
Cried a lot.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. He's always outing me about crying.
There you go. So it really has been obviously such a unique year for coming onto the scene. But how important has obviously building this following online been to you? Because you've obviously not really been able to gig at all.
No, exactly. Like it's absolutely crucial because, I mean, being the type of person that I am, I'm a social creature. I like to meet people. I like to thank them for what they've done. And I like to hang out with them at a gig and chat to them. And I like to do that. And it's been harder because this is all through a screen. But if it wasn't through a screen, I wouldn't get these opportunities. So like, first of all, I'm just very grateful. And second of all, anyone who tunes in for 2 seconds or shares something or likes something or is kind enough to purchase something, that you can't put a price on that to me, because that means that someone cares enough about what I do that they're going to spend their own time on it and their own money. That's crazy. So it just means a lot. So yeah.
And then how have you found, so now you're on to TikTok as well, really branched out across everywhere. How are you? I didn't have a clue how to use TikTok. I've tried. And how are you finding kind of using all these different platforms and obviously the different audiences on each platform as well?
The short answer is I wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for Rachel, because Rachel keeps me really organized, and she makes sure that I do post, because sometimes I just forget, because there's so many platforms to be on that sometimes it's a little bit jarring, but she makes that so much easier. And I notice on some platforms tends to be a bit more success, and on others not so much, but there might be something else that comes from it. So with the cool thing with TikTok is I've got a slow build up on there, but it's helping me understand things a bit better. So for example, one of the reasons I bought this was because of TikTok, because I saw all the streamers that I liked and stuff, they were using these, and it was like a good standard. And I think it's good for knowledge, TikTok at the moment for me, and hopefully it'll become more of a platform. But Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, I think has been crucial because it makes me connect with people, and it helps me have that social element that I miss from gigs.
So some of the 2020 accomplishments. First single went to number 1.
Woo, yes, it did.
First EP went to number 1.
Mm-hmm.
How much were you kind of checking your phone throughout the day as you kind of saw it slowly rise, and just a bit of a daydream early on?
Oh, I mean, to be honest, I remember it like it was yesterday with Whiplash, because I got a text off my friend Chris at like 20 to midnight. It dropped slightly earlier than it was supposed to. And he sent me a message going, "I'm so proud of you. This is amazing." Like a screenshot of the song. I was like, oh my God, that means I'm like potentially in the chart. Let me check. And it was number 5. And I was like, what? Woke up and it was at number 2. I went to work because it was 2 days before the pandemic, like went into lockdown. I went into work, made myself a cup of tea, got a call off Scott going, "You're number 1. I cried, dropped the tea, and hugged my colleague. And I was just in complete disbelief that it hit that, and then blown away. I was getting really paranoid because it had hit 2 a.m. and it hadn't hit the chart at all. So I was like, oh my God, I've not done enough. No one likes it. I'm a sellout, this, that, and the other, which is ridiculous. But I suppose that just gets you into a paranoid state. And Rachel messaged me going, "It's okay. Sometimes it takes a few hours. You're all right. Don't worry." I woke up and it had hit number 1. And I was like, oh was I worried? Like, what was I stressing out about? So yeah, that's basically how I reacted to those.
But I say now you're a seasoned pro at it, so you should be used to it now as well.
No, I'm still a paranoid, nervous wreck.
All right, do you want to play another song for us?
Yeah, let's do it.
I
think I'll actually play you the title track from the first EP. So I think I'll play you Blown Away. So yeah, this is it, guys. I hope you like it. This is Blown Away. You can check this out on Spotify and any platform you choose to listen to. It always comes back to you, the easy road on the way back home, calling your phone when I'm all alone. You pick up on the very first tone, and I know he's a sweet man. I could have it all figured out, but you're in my head, and there's no looking back. Like a Sunday in the chapel, I'm always there. That burning whiskey and smoke in the air. You're just a hurricane, and there's no safe way. But I'm trapped in your eyes, and it's never okay. Till the next time that you blow me away. Should've learned from the first time. Wouldn't throw away something so golden. But my shine got blinded by your darkness. It makes no sense, and I left waiting for a night that doesn't exist anymore. Like a Sunday in the chapel, always there. That burning whiskey and smoke in the air. You're just a hurricane, and there's no safe way. 'Cause I'm trapped in and it's never okay. Till the next time that you blow me away. Yeah. Flashback to when I'm the only star in the sky. Now you're breaking hearts, turning love into life. You go the storm's coming, and I'm hiding inside. Like a Sunday in the chapel, I'm always there. That burn of whiskey and smoke in the air. You're just a hurricane, and it's no safe way. But I'm trapped in your eyes, and it's never okay. The next time that you blow me away, there won't be a next time that you blow me There we go. That's Blown Away.
So what made you choose that as the title track for the EP?
I think I just liked the name of it more than anything. I didn't like the idea of having it the same name as the single because I think it would just confuse people. And Half a Bottle I felt was too cliche for a name, for a country singer, for a debut. And I thought Passenger Side sounded a bit like it could potentially just be about cars, and I didn't want people to do that. So I thought it could call it Charlotte Young, but Blown Away feels like it stands out, so we'll call it Blown Away.
So I'm sure you had many kind of pinch me moments, but holding the physical CD, was that kind of quite high up there?
Yeah, massively. I mean, like, what people may not know about myself is I like physical copies of things. So I like CDs. I still buy CDs. I like DVDs. I still buy them. And I like books and I like vinyls. So I like all of those things around me because I feel like it's so cool to have a physical representation of something like in your hands. And looking at the CD when it came, because I chose the CD to look like a vinyl. And like it just felt like a proper, you've done it, you've created your own CD, like you have your own CD in your CD rack. How do you feel? And it's just mad.
Do you have one kind of always front and center in your room? Do you?
I do. I know it sounds really sad, but I do.
So Spotify has obviously been very kind to you, and some of your Spotify rap numbers for last year are pretty incredible.
Yeah, they certainly are.
56 countries, 14,000 listeners.
Weird.
That is that again. We're just kind of talking daydream kind of stuff, isn't it? Really.
100%. I mean, like, I have always done Spotify Wrapped, and it always tells me you have listened to X amount this many times, and I'm like, wow, cool, amazing. And when it came to releasing my own stuff, I sort of forgot that Spotify Wrapped was a thing until it rolled about. When it rolled about and I checked the figures, I thought it was a mistake, and I genuinely thought Spotify had like done a little bit of a whoopsie. And it turns out they didn't do a whoopsie. And what blew me away the most, no pun intended, was there was a little thing that genuinely shocked me completely. And it tells you how many people have listened to you the most out of every artist they listen to. And there were 26 people. And that doesn't sound like a big number, but to me, that's literally like the bar. Like that's a few people at a bar, and like that's a bus. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a lot of people, and I couldn't believe it. 26 people liked me so much that they listened to me more than anyone else, and I can't get my head around that.
And then when you see 56 countries, so you can even list like 56 countries off the top of your head.
Genuinely, no, I don't think I can. Like, wild.
Do you kind of see the countries that people are listening, or does it not show you that?
You can. So you can have the Spotify Artists app, and it gives you like a breakdown, and it changes like every month or so. But around that time, I had quite a few listeners in Japan, which is amazing. But I had no idea that no one knew me over there. So I was like, okay, that's great, but how? And there's quite a few listeners in like Germany and Italy and Norway, which is really cool because I've got quite a bit of support over in Norway thanks to Linda Boots. But yeah, it's just weird.
So when kind of obviously touring does open back up,
are
some of these countries on your list now, do you think?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I'm a bit of a wanderess anyway. I want to go everywhere. But now even more so because there's a chance that people want to hear me sing over there. And I don't think you get better than that, really. Like, that's so cool. And I'm lucky enough to work with quite a few international companies. So hopefully, like, once this is all blown over, they'll let me come over and sing.
Never a bad thing to happen.
Exactly.
So as an artist, you kind of almost have a bit of a throwback sound.
Thank you.
When you kind of do your songwriting, do you kind of take inspiration from anywhere in particular?
Yes, I do. It's quite a long list of like inspirations. So in terms of physical artists, it would be a mixture really. So I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan. That's not a secret to anyone. Surprise, I'm a country singer. There you go. Johnny Cash is a big one for me. So are the Eagles. But having said that, they're not necessarily country singers, but songwriters that have always stuck with me are people like Carole King and Billy Joel. And to me, like the songwriting is so important. It's such a crucial aspect. And I don't think I would want to write songs if it wasn't for those people because they inspired me to do it. But then I take inspiration from everything, you know, my surroundings, what's going on in the world, things like that, people I know. And I say it's a bit of a mishmash, really.
So, as someone obviously so new on the scene, what kind of advice would you give to people that are starting out in such a bizarre time, having done it yourself now?
Yeah, so I think just stick with it. You never know where it's going to take you. You probably are underestimating what's going to happen. I've certainly underestimated it, and in the best way possible, really. And I think just don't let anyone tell you that. Just don't let them tell you no. Just do it. You know, if you want to do it, you want to do it for a reason. So you may as well, as long as you're not stomping in it on anyone and making them feel like crap, then go and do it. Make yourself happy. And stick to your guns. At the end of the day, no one knows your songs better than you do. So stick with what you want to do.
So before we play our final song, obviously, new track's out tomorrow. You've had one single out since the EP. What can we kind of expect going forward now into 2021?
So I think what people are starting to realise, and I'm really happy about it, is I don't want to be predictable. I want to be the girl that brings out a ballad and people go, what? And then to bring out a honky-tonk song that makes everyone want to dance and then go, hang on, what? I thought we were having a ballad. You know, I want them to change their minds and see that there's so much more to offer than just one type of country music. There's so many different styles. And like people who've tuned into quite a few of my live streams probably already know that there's some of my songs that are a bit more on the rockier side, like Blown Away, which I love. But then I also love the traditional Patsy Cline type thing. So you can expect quite a lot of content, but not necessarily all the same style. I'll pretty much always stay in the country music box because that's what I like, but it will be different each time. I don't want to be predictable.
Excellent here. So what song are you going to play us to play out?
So I'm going to play you Praying for Rain. I feel like that's a good one to go for, but you just got to bear with me a sec because I just need to drop into the tuning. New EP. There is a new PDC. It is coming. I'm still not revealing the track list though until it's time. There we go. All right, this is Praying for Rain. Thanks so much for having me, everyone, and I hope you like it. Staring at the driveway where you drove away, wondering how we made those same mistakes. Stupid fight, bringing on the lonely night. Sunshine and your kiss won't make me feel right. So before you walk out that door, won't you tell me that I'm worth fighting for? I'll just sit here praying for rain, watching you walk away, wishing you'd come back to stay. Oh, it's all a mess now, and I don't know why I'm here. Everything you used to say has faded to gray. It's all gone away. Doesn't matter, the smell of the rain, feel it wash all our troubles away. Yeah. Well, I see dark skies, I see clouds, and I see hope. But there's only so many ways to go down this slippery road, yeah. I'll just sit here praying for rain, watching you walk away, wishing you'd come back to stay. Oh, it's all a mess now, and I don't know say has faded to gray. It's all gone away. Yeah. So when I go from here, too much to throw away, I feel, and I can't help but wanna run miles, regardless of the town, or just to see you smile again. Oh, what I give, I'll just sit here praying for rain, watching you walk away, wishing you'd come back and stay. Oh, it's all a mess now, and I don't know why I'm here. Everything you used to say has faded to gray. It's all gone away. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Charlotte, for joining us this evening. So
That's okay. Thanks for having me.
I said thank you to everyone for tuning in. Charlotte's new song "On the Loose" will be out at midnight tonight.
Yes.
And we'll be
Hopefully,
watching
fingers
it
crossed.
climb up the charts, just like previous releases.
We'll see. Let's
so
hope
thank you very much. And I say, make sure you stream and download "On the Loose" from tonight.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.